Go ahead.
Obviously, Blash is a major difference for Western, but what's he done specifically to get things?
I guess I can comment on what I know about Jeff. He's an attention to detail guy. He is an expectations guy. He's probably I'm not going to comment on what the expectations were last year or what the attention to detail was last year. We felt that Western was a talented team that always found a way to maybe shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. Or, I remember our series against them last year. They were right there in both games, but they found a way to lose, and we found a way to win. And obviously this year he's instilled an attention to detail and an expectation level, and that has translated into some wins, and now they're a confident bunch. Now they're not waiting for something bad to happen, they're making something good happen. So that's just commenting on what I know about Jeff. I know he was going to change expectations and make them, more on a daily being great approach. And but like I said, I don't know what it was last year. I'm going on what I know about Jeff.
Well, what do you like about the way they're playing? What stands out?
Well, I think they're playing. They're not making many mistakes. They've got some talent, but they're not cheating. They're not cheating for offense, or they're not taking so many chances that they're giving up a lot of chances against, because they're not. I mean, you look at the shots on Saturday night against Northern, and that's, Friday night was basically nose to nose. It looked like 25-23 or something in a 5-2 win. And Saturday night was like 50-17 the shots were. So they obviously took it to them pretty good. I think they're playing the game the way it's supposed to be played right now. They're defending properly. They're killing penalties hard. Their goaltending's been solid, and they've got dangerous forwards. And their dangerous forwards are young. I mean, they're not all young. Greg Squire's a little bit older, and Max Campbell's a little bit older. But Berschbach and Balassi and these guys are young guys. So the future there is really good. And I think they might add more talent there than even Jeff thought in October. After talking to him, not to say he was downplaying it, I don't know if he knew. The two guys he brought in himself were Balassi and Berschbach, which he knew are pretty talented guys, but the rest he was given. And I think there's more talent there than he even thought there was. And then the other thing I like, Kevin, is they're playing confidence now. And again, I don't think it's cocky. I just think it's a confident approach to every game, and that can help you. It just can.
How can you take that confidence for your guys, get them right this week?
Well, we're gonna take the same approach that we have, and one of the things that I don't think I've been complimentary enough on our guys is for us to be able to continuously put away yesterday and focus on today. And I know we've said that we want to keep doing that, but we did it again on Saturday. I mean, Friday night was not an easy loss, because it was a game we very easily could have won. And we came out Saturday and just and put it aside and focused and played pretty well. So, hopefully that can build us some momentum. But ultimately, we're going to take the same approach that no matter what happens on Thursday's practice, we're going to focus on Friday's game, and our confidence will have to come from within on that day, not based on the big picture, not based on our record this year, not based on where we are in the standings, but based on that's the next time we have a chance to put the gear on, and we're looking forward to it. That kind of approach.
What were your thoughts on last weekend as a whole overall?
I thought the effort level was good both nights. I definitely thought Friday night was a game we could have won, and I would have liked to have seen us find a way to win that game. And Nick knows this. I think there was a couple pucks that he has to have on Friday. That you look at a 4-2 game with the fourth goal being under a minute to go with a pretty blatant turnover on kind of a power play where we're trying to get the goalie pull. It was 4-on-4, but those small little plays we've got to start to get on the right side of them. Save, whatever. And I thought there was plays to be made around their net that we didn't make. I talked about that a little bit after the game Friday, and ultimately we're going to continue to push and try to find ways to win those games. Saturday, I thought we responded very well. I thought the guys put away Friday, focused on Saturday, which is what we asked them to do. You know, we got off to a pretty good start, scored first. I thought their goal to tie it late in the first period, I think that's how it went, was okay, but it wasn't intended for the guy that ended up scoring. And then, at 2-1, I thought we had a chance to make it 2-2, or I guess, no, it was 2-0, right? Yeah, so we had a chance to make it 3-0. I know Moeller hit a post, so I liked the way we played. I liked the way Hammond played. I'd like to see us score more goals so there's not as much pressure at the end of the game, but that's something we've struggled with all year.
Is there anything that you're working on to try to generate more offense?
We're just focusing on practice and hitting the net, shooting more, which are kind of tied in together, and more people to the net. I still don't think we create enough traffic. You look at Lake Superior, it ended up costing them, just as an example, one team. It ended up costing them a couple of penalties, or one for sure, of hitting Hammond, but it's because they're there. I want us there more. I want us in that area more. Whether I don't want us getting penalties on it, but I want us to create more traffic for the opposing goaltender, and that to me is just a habit thing that all we can do is reinforce it, continue to say you need to be there. And then this one is going to make us all kind of chuckle, but the power play. The power play is something that we work on all the time. We worked on yesterday. We're going to work on tomorrow. We're going to work on Thursday. We don't know any other way to do it. I don't want to just ignore it and leave it. Some guys just say, well, we're not going to work on it and see if that works. But we're not going to do that. We want to take the opposite approach. And if our power play obviously was better, we'd score more goals. I mean, that's a fact. The top teams, the teams that score the most goals, you look at their power play percentage, and I'll guarantee you it's top level power play. And that's one that's really cost us in scoring goals for sure.
You talked early on in the season about changing the culture and not being that concerned about wins and losses and so on and so forth. But as you come down to the end of the season, how important would it be to pick up a couple of victories, maybe just for the future of this program looking ahead to next year?
I personally think it'd be very important. I don't think it would be a disaster if we didn't, but going into the spring, whenever that may be, going into the off season this spring, whenever it is, I do think it'd be nice to be able to say, you see, we've worked on this culture all year long. We've talked about daily improvement. We've talked about paying attention to detail. We've talked about the process, and it would also show that we learned from some of the tough losses we had in the middle. I thought at the beginning we didn't find a way to lose the game against Notre Dame. We found a way to win it. Early there. We had a couple of good wins against Huntsville. We had a win against Northern on the road. Found a way to win a 2-1 game. Well, then in the middle of the year, we found a way to lose way more games than we found a way to win. And it would be nice to be able to finish and show ourselves that if we give a good effort and we focus and we pay attention to the detail and the process and all the things that are important to us, all parts of this culture, it'd be nice to get some results. I don't say that to the boys every day because I don't want it to be the end of everything if we don't get the results we're looking for, because it is going to be difficult with six road games, and I mean we're going on the road in the first round. We know that. So 8 road games and 2 home games of our next 10 is not going to be easy, but that is what it is. We've put ourselves in that situation, and we still expect results based on the process and details and all those things. So I think it would be important for us going into the spring to say, you see, it's starting to work at the end. We took a little dip in the middle. It'd be nice to pick it and end the season on a high note, maybe not, national tournament and those kind of things, but on a high note, saying we had some pretty good play at the end.
And with the playoffs just around the corner, are you looking to have a goalie for the playoffs, or would you like to have 2 goalies?
Well, I know we have 2 goalies.
Right.
So would I like to have one guy? Not necessarily, but the goaltenders have been told that our Friday, Saturday thing is not going to continue. It is going to be based on who's playing better and who we feel as a coaching staff gives us the best chance to win. Does that mean that they both would play in a weekend? It still could. Does that mean if one guy wins, we wouldn't go back with that same guy or change? I mean, both things are open. We're not going to paint ourselves into any corner. Just like we do with center and defenseman, I think a little bit of competition is healthy. And you know, at times there has been separation, whether it be Nick separating or Andrew separating. And I think with 10 games to go, with playoffs included in that, it's a good time to say, okay, let's fight for that number one job. And if somebody separates himself to where he plays the next 10 games, well, that's the way it'll be.
Do you think that could start this weekend?
Sorry?
Do you think that could start this weekend?
Yes, I absolutely do. Absolutely
That was
do.
my
Yeah,
question.
I think that the talk that we had with the goalies was yesterday. So it's Friday night is wide open. Who we feel gives us the best chance to win on Friday night will start in goal.
Anything else for Coach, guys? Oh, go ahead.
Is winning the prerequisite to stay in goal? I mean, I don't want to pitch into a corner.
No, I mean, that's a fair question. Winning helps.
Yeah.
Winning helps. But I do think that if you look at Andrew and Nick over this year, they've played better hockey than their record.
Right.
Because the team in front of them that night wasn't very good. And I think that's happened to Andrew more than Nick, but it's happened to both of them. So we're going to base it on their play, in our opinion. And we can't be great and let in bad goals. We cannot. That cannot happen. We got to make teams earn goals. So if we're going to be great and we're going to categorize a goaltender as great, bad goals is not going to be part of that. And unfortunately, I think we've had too many bad goals as of late. Not by one or the other, but period.
I guess that's my question: is winning with bad goals?
Winning with bad goals, I still don't like the bad goals. I mean, obviously like the winning. You know, we're a team that doesn't score much. We can't afford bad goals. So if we use the first part of this season as that, if we let in bad goals, we're not going to win. I mean, that's been proven to this point. Could that change? Sure, it could change. It could change. But we don't want bad goals. I think that's something that they can both control. They're both old enough and mature enough goaltenders to not let bad goals happen. They're obviously talented enough. So we're going to go, the criteria, I think winning's in the criteria. And I think overall performance during that game is obviously in the criteria. So we'll break it down that way.
Injury update?
A little banged up on defense. You know, Sloat's got a quad contusion that's did not happen this past weekend. It happened a while ago. That's not getting better. Peltoma got 12 stitches in his finger on the last play of the game on Friday that we really have to be careful with because it's kind of an odd place and the cut wasn't all that great. So we don't want it to reoccur. So he's been held out, but other than that, we're good. You know, Grover's hand seems to be leveling off a little bit. That's going to continue to be a nuisance more than anything. But other than that, I think we're good. The shoulder situation seemed to have gone away, and guys, knock on wood, guys, their shoulders are solidifying themselves, so that hasn't been as much of an issue.
What about Scott Zacharias?
Yeah, he's got a bad knee that's nagging him, and he goes out for warm up and takes some pucks and then comes off, and you know it's just one of those ones we probably just let him, you know, err on the side of caution and just not go out there. So we've got, you know, Nick and Andrew that are in the best game shape anyway. So let's just go with those two. And Scott, when you're 100%, you come out.
And what did you think of Vasselli over the weekend?
You know, I'm a Ryan Vasselli fan because I think you know what you're going to get, and I think he's improving. You know, I really do. I think he's getting a little bit of confidence with the puck. I know he was an offensive guy, so to speak, in juniors, in both in Windsor and in Western Canada. And, he is realizing that this lifestyle that we talk about can pay off, and it can show dividends, not just in hockey. You know, student-wise, just the way you feel about yourself on a daily basis. I think he's one of those guys that has never been told to be this and to do this, and he's doing it, and I think he enjoys it. And hockey-wise, I'm very optimistic about where he would fit in here as we move forward, just based on his daily approach.
What do you like about his game?
His effort. I like the fact that he gets up and keeps coming. You know, he's one of those guys that's on the receiving end a lot of the times, but he gets up and he keeps fighting forward, and now it seems he's starting to give it back a little bit, so that's good. And he's got a hockey player in him. Like, he puts pucks on the net, he puts pucks to space. I know that's gonna, people are gonna say, what do you mean he's got a hockey player in him? I just think his instincts and his hockey IQ is pretty good. And to go along with now being in the best shape he's ever been in and having a little bit of experience of college hockey under his belt, I like where his game could go to.
What do you think about Jordan this past weekend?
I thought he played pretty good on Friday. I thought Saturday just too many pucks were turned over and not as much of a positive impact as he was Friday. And I'm not just talking about the goal. I thought he engaged a few times people physically. I'd still like him to be a little bit more of an impact on the power play. He's one of those guys that we need to be more of an impact. But all in all, I thought it was okay.
Are you guys still going, are you going Thursday to Western?
No, we're going Friday.
Has that been the plan all?
Yeah, yeah. That's not for any reason other than saying 2:45 on the GPS, and if it takes us 3, they'll have their pregame nap on the bus versus in the dorm. So, or versus at the hotel. So we'll have a meal here together, and then we'll go up there. And maybe with the weather being the way it is, it's the best thing to do anyway, is give it an extra day to clear out and clear the roads up. And there's no reason we can't go there and be ready to compete at a high level Friday night.